having been able to record on tape again has really, it's really enthused me with doing this again. And the response that I've had from people who've recorded here has been phenomenal. The difference it has made to the whole experience. I think people have found it, to say the least, a surprise, if not a shock, at how different it is from what they're used to doing. And it, for me, it enormously shows in the results people get.
And I guess that's what counts ultimately, is the result.
Ultimately, yes.
Because I know that's the thing that you're big into, is like the record, making a worthwhile record.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
The significant part, the whole point of the whole thing.
And that whole process, there's an element of that process that's spent in the studio. That's done in the studio. But most of that process is done outside the studio. In a way, because it's the talking, it's the planning, it's the the aboutness of a group that makes that worthwhile.
Yeah, so you put a fair amount in on pre-production and that kind of thing.
And I then try and capture that aboutness in the sound that we make together.
Cool.
And I find that the slightly more high pressure way of doing it, although I don't, I say high pressure, it's high pressure because it requires more engagement and more hard work from the band. And from me, because it's not, it's more difficult, there's more to it. There's more wires involved for a start. And, it's like, it requires that input. And I think that shows in the end result. Without a doubt.
Cool.
Having made a lot of records on digital, very few of them stand up, and the ones that do are the ones that were done with the right ethics and with that input. And then I think even some of the ones that I would hold up as being great records that have been done entirely on digital that I've been involved in, even those, I would say most of them would have been better if they hadn't had so much fixing done. If they'd been even slightly more organic. There are a couple that I think absolutely stand up. But most of them, I think, they're good records. They are. There's no doubt about it. They're good records, but they don't quite have that thing that I think was there. But the temptation, when you're working with digital, the temptation is convenience and speed, rather than input and application to getting it right, and that always will trump digital 100%, because it requires people to be better, to be more. It requires it to be more than the sum of an equation. And that's the and because you're working on analog, you don't have the option of making it the sum of an equation. Because you don't have that option. You can't grid it because it's on tape. You can take it off tape and grid it, but why not just make it work? And that's the thing. You can grid it there. If it's there, you can fix it. If it's on the computer, the temptation is to fix it, rather than go back in and play it again until you get it right. Just fix it up. Oh, it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. If I wanted the computer to play my music for me, I'd just program it into a computer.
Good point.
I think so.